I love talking about guys that I want the Denver Broncos to go out and get. You guys know that I love that. But man, Deebo Samuel, no, I don't want to see it. And I'm going to break down as to why I feel like this would be an absolute disaster bringing in Deebo Samuel. Now, I know that once I finish up this video, you know what's probably going to happen? The Broncos are going to be in on Deebo Samuel, and I'm just going to have, a crazy switch on things. I'm going to have to pivot. I'm going to have to flip flop. I'm going to have to convince myself why this would be an amazing move for our Denver Broncos. But right now, guys, I just don't see it. I'm going to dive into why. Of course, y'all let me know your thoughts. Who you want the Broncos to go after in the comments? What draft pick would you give up for a Deebo Samuel? Y'all let me know. But let's go ahead and get into it, guys. So, Deebo Samuel, 29 years old, star wide receiver for the San Francisco 49ers. Y'all know who he is, all this stuff. He requested a trade, okay? Requested a trade. He's been very productive throughout his career. And when you take a look at his contract, I mean, it's nothing too crazy right now, okay? He's going into the final year in 2025. Very similar to a guy we got in Courtland Sutton. This is Deebo Samuel's contract we're looking at right now. And according to Spot Track, if I were to execute this trade for the Broncos, as we can see right here, it's about a $4 to $5 million cap hit taking him on. All right. That's just trading for him with face value. Now, the issue that, number one, the big issue is actually the contract, because this is going to be like a Russell Wilson type of deal. If we're acquiring Deebo Samuel right now, that means we are signing him to a contract extension. He's not going to approve a trade unless he's getting a contract extension. The man wants to get paid very similarly to Courtland Sutton. And this is his contract here, going into the last year of his deal. Right now, he's at a $20 million cap hit for us Broncos. But kind of how I see things developing for the Broncos is that you keep Courtland Sutton, you sign him to like a 2-year extension or so, kind of move out some of this money a little bit. You'll lower his cap hit to like $13 million, and that's totally great. I mean, he had over 1,000 yards this year, already having that chemistry with Bo. That's fantastic. But it makes no sense, guys, to keep Courtland Sutton, and then you're also bringing in a guy that is a little bit more of a distraction, a little bit more of a diva, I feel like, throughout his time in San Francisco. And a guy who's he's probably going to command more money than what a Courtland Sutton extension would require. So instead of us, doing like a team-friendly extension with a guy who's been a Denver Bronco for life at 29 years old, here I'm talking about Courtland Sutton, now we're going to be essentially giving that contract plus more to a second wide receiver kind of in the same position. To me, it just doesn't really make any sense really at all to do that. Now, I know that there are some people in the Broncos community that want us to go after a Chris Godwin, most notably my good friend Mark of Marky Sports. And he's a little bit younger, maybe just by like half a year than Deebo Samuel. I can get behind it. He's a different wide receiver than Deebo Samuel as well. I think a better route runner, somebody who truly has versatility with where you can line him up at. But I mean, like when we're taking a look at like Deebo Samuel right here, and this past year, I think he had around 600 and let me get the number right. He had 670 receiving yards. Marvin Mims, man, he had a little over 500 this year. And when you're looking at the usage, the deep targets, 9 deep targets on the year, touchdown, used in the short game quite a bit. I don't think it's a lazy comp at all to think and to see that like we kind of use Marvin Mims in some similar ways, like 10 targets, deep targets on the year. He actually had 3 TDs, which is great, much lower reception percentage. But this is a cool stat. 3 receptions on those deep targets. All 3 of them went for touchdowns. I want to see what Marvin Mims can continue to develop into. So why are you bringing in a guy that's going to cost, X amount times what Marvin Mims costs right now, who's more injury prone? Again, it's not like he plays a different role, such as Courtland Sutton. Deebo Samuel straight up be taking away snaps from Marvin Mims, and that's just not something that man, I love that I'm able to say this right now. That's not something I want to do right now, is take snaps away from Marvin Mims. We're just not going to do it. No, and they're about the same height. Of course, Deebo's a little bit more more stocky, filled out, but Marvin is going to put on a little bit of weight as well as he continues to develop in his NFL career. But yeah, like I just don't, I don't see how this helps a young Broncos offense develop forward. I don't see how it helps these younger receivers that we have move forward and develop. I'm on the Troy Franklin breakout train right now. I think my friend Kodiak is kind of being the leader of this, but I'm gonna hop on with it as well. I don't want to see Troy Franklin get less snaps because we decided to give a 30-year-old Deebo Samuel here, a bunch of money. I guess, hey, do you want to move on from Courtland Sutton and replace him with Deebo Samuel? To me, that makes no sense at all. Because when you take a look at Courtland Sutton, who's basically the same age, guys, he's coming off of essentially, the second best year of his career right now. And he's been a Denver Bronco for life. And he's already got that chemistry with Bo Nix. And this man isn't going to cause any my face might be in front of this. Courtland Sutton isn't going to cause any distractions. He's a team captain. So to me, it makes no sense to move off of Courtland Sutton for any of these guys unless it's T. Higgins. That's kind of how I feel. But overall, yes, face value. You're only going to take on $5 million, $4 million or so trading for him. But he's going to cost a lot more than that because he's going to want a new contract. And to me, it just makes no sense to bring him out here. I don't want a guy in here that's going to be taking away from the good vibes that we got right now with the offense and Bo Nix. I don't want any sort of wide receiver distraction. I don't want anybody complaining about targets. Once we're in a Super Bowl window, whatever, then we can talk about dealing with somebody like A.J. Brown. But right now, we're just not there. I don't want to deal with it, guys. Nope. So who do we sign? Who do we sign instead of Deebo Samuel? Well, one, I don't think Deebo Samuel, because this contract extension, I don't think he's going to require a day 2 pick to trade for him. And if you're giving up a 3rd round pick for him, absolutely not. I think, again, it's not really the draft capital for me, what it would cost. Like, yes, could we give up our last pick of the draft that we have right now? I think that's pick 206 or 208. Trying to remember. Sure. But again, the bigger deal for this is, or what we give up is money, is cap space. And I just don't think it's worth it. But yeah, like bottom line, like I think he'll probably go for like a 6th or 7th round pick. I don't think we're the right team for him. I know he's spoken highly of the Broncos during, Radio Row, Super Bowl week. That's a good story and all, but, not everybody is right for this team. And you know who is? Right here. Darius freaking Slayton. He's had like the worst quarterback play, worse than all these guys in Denver have had, with the New York Giants. Darius Slayton is amazing. Darius Slayton, he's going to be like Emmanuel Sanders was with his second team. Remember, Emmanuel Sanders was like the 3rd wide receiver on all those Pittsburgh Steelers teams with Ben Roethlisberger. They just didn't throw to him enough, but you could see the flashes of potential. Man, Darius Slayton, incredible. Only 28 years old, so he's right about to hit his prime, baby. And he's going to be like half the cost of a guy like Deebo Samuel. He's going to be phenomenal. He's going to take off with his second team. I want that team to be Denver Broncos, baby. That's what I want. And he's stayed generally healthy as well. Big fan of Darius Slayton. And if you're wondering, guys, what might he cost? Let me go ahead and just look at his market value here. I'm on the Darius Slayton train. $15.8 million. 3 years, $47 million. Yes, please. Yes, please. For a wide receiver too. Yeah, that's what we need. Darius Slayton. That way we can spend money on linebacker, on safety, on defensive line, on tight end, on running back. Okay. So in order to fill out those positions, let's not go and break the bank for one of these wide receivers. Darius Slayton is going to be a great wide receiver, and we're going to see the development of our guys moving forward. So with all that said, George Payton, Sean Payton, the Walton Penn Group, don't screw up the good vibes we got right now. We got an egoless offense. Let's continue to keep it that way, baby. That's how I feel about this thing. Hey, Shirley, how you doing? Hope you're having a great night. I'll get to a few of your comments, guys, then I'll jump out of here. Keanu, who would you rather have, Deebo or Cup? Probably, if you're able to restructure with Cup, probably him. But I know that he's a little bit more expensive to acquire in terms of initial cap hit, which is frustrating. But you probably don't need to sign Cup to as big as of an extension. But again, when I talked about acquiring a wide receiver at the deadline last year, it was mainly because, I didn't think we were going to be playing keeping Courtland Sutton around. So we really did need kind of that veteran top wide receiver to have around. But, Courtland ended up having, his second best year of his career. And so we already got that guy. I don't really feel like there's a need to go after a guy like Cooper Kupp or Deebo Samuel at this point. But I think I'd just go with Kupp just because, again, he's one of those guys that we can kind of put all over the field as well. I still think he's a good route runner and just a really smart player. I think he fits what Sean Payton really likes. So, yeah, that's it, guys. Let me know your thoughts. I mean, if you're watching on the replay, be sure to smash that like, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on this video. I am going to be doing a collaboration with Marquee Sports and Kodiak tomorrow, which is going to be a lot of fun. We'll be talking draft, free agency, I'm sure, as well as who is, most hated Denver Bronco. I got a few, that I would love to talk about that I think will be a really fun discussion. So y'all be sure to hit that bell for notifications. That way you guys will know when we go live. And until then, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Go Broncos.